My name is Joohoon, and I'll present the updates on the roadmap and the upcoming ONNX 1.9 release. I'll start with a brief recap of the roadmap discussion process that we shared in the last community workshop. If you remember from the last workshop, we received a lot of feedback from the community to come up with the roadmap ideas. And we spent about 6 weeks discussing the ideas and came up with a suggested list of features and their impact. Then we organized the selected features into relevant SIG areas and mapped it on this chart. This is what we shared last time. And since the workshop, we asked the SIG leaders to drive the discussion on these topics and follow up with an actions to make progress on these specific areas. Today, I would like to provide an update on the progress we've made so far. So this slide summarizes the current status with the different color codings. So red means that those items we have not started working on yet. And the orange ones are some items that we are making progress. And the green ones are either done or we're getting close to done since we're now working on the ONNX 1.9 release that will include some of these features. Sheng already covered the PyData alignment, so I'll briefly talk about the rest of the features here. On the operator SIG side, there was a topic on the reduced number of the ops. So the goal here was to replace as many ONNX ops as possible with functions. And as part of the test, add new primitive ops, which will make this possible. The SIG has taken a look at this, and the recommendation as a next step is to decide on the specific list of operators that SIG would like to replace with functions. And once those are identified, we'll like to get more contributions from the community to drive making more progress on this area. On the unified operator interface style, the goal was to prepare a style guide which describes expected behavior of typical properties of operators, such as data layout, access specifications, attribute namings, things like that. We want to enforce this style on all new operators as well as the existing ops. So one example may be the negative values for access. So the SIG is working on this goal. They're reviewing existing ops and comparing against NumPy convention. And they'll be working on outlining the needed changes to prepare and also prepare PR with an operator updates. Next, the simplified function definition. The group is working on a text-based ONNX parser to be part of the next ONNX 1.9 release. This will help with the simplifying function definition as well as adding test cases. On the model zoo side, we're making progress here as well. So there are PRs that is covering this expand model test to all models on Model Zoo, as well as improving tutorials on Model Zoo. So there's ongoing PR with the review. On the quantized models, there's some suggestions from the community that we are expecting some contributions into the Model Zoo. And the SIG is happy to work with the contributors to upload more models that includes the quantized models. On the architecture and infrastructure side, we're working on the improving support for the large models. Some of this is already done in ONNX 1.8. We fixed some of the external data handling issues in 1.8.1 bug fix release, as well as there's an improvements in the APIs for converting models with external data that's coming in the 1.9 release. On the shape inference side, one of the things that was crossed out here is detecting error via model checker. This SIG reviewed this item and concluded that the model checker and the shape inference is kind of orthogonal. So you can always run model checker, and then after that you can run also shape inference. So that one, we're canceling that specific ask. We didn't work on this reorg for easier debugging and testing. But there are some improvements on the shape inference, such as a symbolic shape inference that's coming in the ONNX 1.9. On the improving error handling and exception-free, we are also making some that was updated with regards to error handling in 1.8.1. And then there's a PR in progress for no exception build for ONNX. So with that, our next upcoming release of ONNX is version 1.9. This time, Mikhail from Intel volunteered to be a release manager. So thanks a lot for Mikhail for driving this. And there's a lot of new exciting features in this upcoming release. So I mentioned some improvements in the symbolic shape inference. We're also removing some of the stale code base. So we're removing optimizers from the ONNX packages. And updates to the external data helpers that's related to the large model inference. And we are also enabling selective loading of ONNX schema by a specific offset version. And we also are introducing a text-based ONNX parser, which will simplify function definitions and test cases. And there's a new offset version 14. Some of these includes the updated ops, as well as two new ops. One is the tranlu and then hard switch function. So thanks everyone for making all these contributions and making this next release happen. In terms of the release schedule, we are expecting to cut the release branch by end of March. And then we're going to start the validation on this branch starting the first week of April. We'll be releasing the ONNX release candidate published in PyPyTest. And then we're going to run all the validations through ONNX runtime. We'll be also working with the community for extra validations and also cover the converters. So we're currently targeting the next release around week of April 12th.